Hello and welcome to the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from Northwest Community Television. Thanks for joining us. Heidi Nielsen joins us, the Maple Grove City Administrator. We're ready to talk council meeting and also a lot coming up as spring is here in the city of Maple Grove. The council meeting we're touching on is from Monday the 19th of March. It was about a 1-hour meeting. Part of the meeting was some open discussion, but then we get into consent and no items pulled from the consent agenda, so we hop right to community development. And these are some that we've been talking about for a while, so it'll be a nice chance to get an update and see some progress happening. First is self-storage by 494 and Bass Lake Road. That seems to be moving along. Tell us about the updates there.
Yeah, so this was for the development stage, kind of their final approvals, final plat approval. This is a project that had been in before the council before for concept. There was some feedback that we'd like to see the architecture enhanced a bit. I think the architect came back with some nice plans, and so this one gained development stage approval, so this will move forward to construction. This is right off of Sycamore, just north of Bass Lake Road, kind of right up along the 494 corridor. There's a kind of an extended stay hotel and then a medical office just to the south of it. This will kind of be tucked right in between those two uses there. So nice architecture. I think it'll be a nice addition down there. All right,
that's one that moved along. Another was Rush Creek Commons. Give us a little background of that project once again and where it's headed.
Yeah, so the Rush Creek Commons is, this is the townhome component of some housing that is located at the southwest corner of Bass Lake Road and 101, so kind of out in that southwest crossings area. Of course, where the very highly desired Hy-Vee store is to be located. So the council had looked at another component of this housing being apartments a while back. This was the townhome piece, and so Cal Atlantic is doing this one. They've done a number of projects here in town, townhome type projects. So this one gained its development stage final plat approval, so we'll probably see some activity out on that site in the coming months as well.
And the apartment part of that process has already been through everything, correct? So will that be starting first?
You know, we're not sure exactly which piece will go. That site has some things that'll need to be addressed for the entire site in terms of the extension of utilities and some grading. There's a significant kind of wetland on that area, so they're going to have to look at that site from, you know, a site preparation in total. So not sure which piece will come out of the ground first.
All right, but a lot of activity coming in that area. The third we want to touch on from community development is the Reserve Arbor Lakes, and this is part 2, so that big building is moving along. Yeah, so
the first building here, Reserve at Arbor Lakes, again, this is the fourth corner of Arbor Lakes, kind of that northeast corner of Hemlock and Elm Creek Parkway, Elm Creek Boulevard, sorry. So the first building is getting to the point of getting finished up here, and the clubhouse piece, which houses all the amenities. We understand that they're going to be having tenants moving into that building starting late March, early April, so just within the coming weeks. So this was really development stage plan approval for the next building, which will be focused on that kind of southwest corner of the residential portion of that site. We are able to, we're hosting, or the developer's hosting a tour for the City Council and Planning Commission out there later this evening, actually, to have them have an opportunity to come tour the building, tour the amenities. I think this is a little bit of a different housing product that's being offered here in town, and a really high level of amenities. So I think it's good for people to kind of get in and get a sense of what that looks like and how it's going to operate. So they plan to move forward with construction on this next building. This is about 125 units, I believe, in this one. Probably later this summer a little bit. They're going to kind of get through a little bit of the lease up on the first building and then get going on this next piece.
So how does the size of number 2 compare to number 1, and is there a number 3 or 4 or anything past 2?
Yeah, so the first building was about, I think, about 250 units on the first building. This one, I see 123. So about half the size, smaller building. It's a little bit that corner down there. There is a third phase of the building. They're planning for about 700 units overall. So that third building to the north might be just a little bit bigger.
Right, okay, very good. So some activity coming in that area of town.
A
couple other community development items to touch on. There are things happening in other parts of the city as well. Let's talk about the Grove area. That has been busy.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of activity up in the Grove, which I think is great, because I think that center has been, you know, it kind of came online right at the time of the recession, and so struggled a little bit with its lease up, but now we're really seeing a lot of growth and strength in the lease up happening up there. We'll have Bobby and Steve's coming online here. They're pretty much finished with their construction. They'll be opening in the next few weeks. That's kind of that service station right on the corner there across from the hospital. Raising Cane's, the chicken finger place, the very renowned chicken finger place, is under construction, kind of right next door to that, directly kind of to the north and back to the east. We continue to see a lot of interest in medical office up there. In fact, we probably are to the point where we need to think about kind of where's the next phase of that in terms of the land that's available for development up there. So a lot of interest, continued interest in that up by the hospital. A couple new restaurants going up there. We've got, this is in the existing space, so kind of the little Main Street area, Rock Elm Tavern. They currently have a location in Plymouth, so this would be a second location right across the street kind of from Daily Dose. And then Rosati's, which is a pizza place, which is kind of right next door to Daily Dose. So Daily Dose will be getting some neighbors up there. So we're looking forward to having, I think everybody's wanted to see a little bit more, kind of a sit-down restaurant type of option up in that neck of the woods on the north side. And so it's nice to see those uses come into town as well.
Very good. And if you need a few other options to eat, they are coming as well. Let's talk about Brick and Bourbon. We've mentioned that a few times. And also donut fans, yes, there's Dunkin Donuts coming to town.
Yeah, so Brick and Bourbon is working on going into the old Don Pablo space, so that's right there along Elm Creek Boulevard, kind of down south of kind of the main, or north of the Main Street area there. So we're looking forward to that one. I think they are going to be doing some pretty significant remodeling on the interior of the space, and then as we get into spring, maybe some more additional outdoor. They're looking to do a bigger patio type outdoor seating area. So you'll see something come through on that. And then Dunkin Donuts, of course, right up at 610 and Zachary, kind of out next to the Parnassus School location there. Built kind of this little, it's a 2-tenant building, so Dunkin Donuts is the first tenant to go into that building there.
All right, so a lot of work happening throughout the town. One other update was from Ken Ashfield. Really didn't have a lot to say, which is a good thing at this time of the year because not too many potholes to mention in town. So the search has been okay, but if people do see potholes, what's the process there? The city's always willing to get those calls, right?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. You can give a call to the engineering department, or we do have on our website, you can report those on there, and then they'll follow up with the public works crews on those items.
But so far, so good.
Yes.
So the melt is happening here. A couple update items from you. There was one that is a follow-up of a couple meetings before that there was a person to the open mic that talked about this. Tell us about lawful gambling in town and some adjustment in percentages.
Yeah, so we have about 4 entities that do charitable gambling in town. The request was to kind of take a look at what % we require to be spent in the trade area. And the trade area is really Maple Grove and then its contiguous neighboring cities. Currently we're at 50%, so we took a look at kind of what other communities require, and you can require all the way up to 100% be spent in the trade area. Under state law, that's allowable. So based on kind of some input from the folks that showed up at the meeting, as well as some council discussion, the move was to increase it to 75% for that trade area spend. So I think what it does is just really kind of focus in the dollars that are gleaned here from charitable gambling are spent back here in these communities to benefit the local communities.
Yeah, so good news for local organizations that might be looking for a little bit of help. So that's the main part of the updates. There was one final item mentioned, and this is something that's going to be opening up at City Hall, the Government Center. Tell us about passports.
Yeah, so we are in the kind of final throes of preparing the space for our passport services office. If you've been in the Government Center, where this will be located is on the 2nd floor. There's a reception area there. We're moving the passport office into there. We've hired a new staff member to do this work for us. Her name is Nicole Hedblum, and she comes to us from another passport office. She had worked in Anoka County for a number of years, so we were fortunate enough to hire somebody who was certified, trained, kind of knows the ins and outs of all the passport business, and so we're starting kind of hitting the ground running here. So planning on a ribbon cutting the afternoon of April 2nd, and then we'll get started with serving the community for passport services. Information, our website, you can go online to schedule an appointment. We'll be doing this by appointment. Really important, there's a lot of things that you need to have with you when you're coming in to apply for a passport. We still need you to write a check. State Department still kind of does things by paper.
Okay.
So all the information about what you need to bring with you is available on our website, and you can go on and make an appointment there too. There's kind of an interface with a calendar app that you can use there to do that. So we're really excited to get going with this service to the residents. We think we're going to be pretty busy. We've heard that from the State Department just in terms of the need for this kind of service up here. And just as a reminder to folks, if you are if you need a first-time passport or you have a minor child that needs a passport, those are the kinds of passport applications we can help you with. If you are renewing a passport and you're within that expiration period after having a passport, that has to be done online.
Okay.
We can help you out with a picture. We're going to be doing that. So whether you use our service, you can use our service to get a passport or not. Renewal has to go through the website.
Right.
We can help you out with the picture component of that. So,
All right.
yeah, so hopefully we're gonna kind of wade our way into this a little bit. We're a little bit worried how busy we're going to be at the outset, but I do think residents will appreciate having this service available to them in the community.
There's a long stairway up to the second level, so we'll see if they're lined up down the stairway or not as it opens up.
Right.
And again, a lot of information about that on the city's website, so you can go there and find out what you need to do and need to bring. So that's the meeting from the 19th. Again, a nice, quick 1-hour meeting at the city. We want to touch on some other things happening around the city as well, and one of the nice things is if you go to the government center or waiting for your passport, look at the art.
Yes.
Who's in with art?
Yeah, so we have the student art show going on, and this is done by the Maple Grove Arts Center. It's a student art show from District 279 students. They do this every year. The art is up on display now, and it'll be there through mid-April. And of course, our building is open from 8 to 4:30, so feel free to wander on in and see what the art is.
Have you picked out your favorite piece yet?
I haven't had a chance to wander through. I'm going to have to do that.
All right,
yes.
you'll be walking through.
Yes.
Valuation notices. This is the sure sign of spring is here. Tell us about this process. What happens? What should people think about when they get them, and then what are some other dates that might affect them if they have questions?
Yeah, so this is a really important time because a lot of times we see people come in at the time that we're doing our budget hearing, which is at the end of the year, wanting to talk about their value that's been assigned by the city assessing office. And so this is really the time for that discussion to talk about the value that's been set for your property.
Right.
You'll be getting that valuation notice in the mail soon, and what that does is it sets the value of your property for taxes payable in 2019. So we're kind of almost a year ahead of ourselves here in terms of setting those property values. So take a look. It should say 2018 valuation and classification notice on the envelope and in the information. It'll have information about what your value was in 18 and 19, and of course there's always more information available on the Hennepin County website, and our site links to that. We do have our Board of Appeal meetings, so we always encourage you to reach out to the assessing office and have a discussion. It's much easier for us if we can do some kind of background and work with you on why the assessor set the value and have some discussions beforehand. So you can give a call to our assessing office, but our Board of Appeal meetings are scheduled for April 26th, and then they reconvene on May 10th to consider the disposition of those that are disputing their values. So really important to know this is the time if you want to come in and talk about your value. We do that here in the spring every year.
Any trends that we've seen in the past couple years, and do you see trends continuing, or what is the early word from the assessing department?
Yeah, so we see, in general, I think we see property values increasing in terms of and we always use sales data, basically, to kind of understand what's happening in the marketplace. So they're looking at comparable properties and sales. I think last year we dealt with increases on lakeshore properties, and that continues to be a very strong area where we see sales happening, and those sales are increasing in value. More increase in some of the townhome type areas. I think those values are back to where they were prior to the recession time frame, and we're seeing growth in that market as well. Not necessarily affecting, it affects the property owner apartments. We've seen a lot of strength in that. Low vacancies, increasing rents, those kinds of things, which drives the value of those properties.
Right.
I think commercial industrial has stayed pretty moderate in their growth in terms of those properties, and I think some of that is a little bit of the retail impact. So we always try to pay attention to that, because if you see a big swing in one area or the other, it can shift property taxes, and so we always try to really make sure we're paying attention to that. Some of that we can, do something about. Some of it we can't. It's just more the market and where property values are going. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing for 2019 values.
Very good. So an important time. Again, watch your mail, and again, go to the city's website if you have some questions and get the ball rolling early if you do have those questions. Let's talk about open to business. We've talked about it many times, opportunity for people to stop by City Hall, and another amenity that you have there. Tell us how it works and when the next date is.
Our next date is Tuesday, April 9th, and so the office hours are from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it's done in a conference room at the Maple Grove Government Center. This is another time where it's really important that you reach out ahead of time, maybe make an appointment. There's things that the business counselor will want you to bring with you when you come to meet with them. So there's some preparation involved, but really this is trying to focus on maybe either Maple Grove resident that is looking to grow or expand their business, or an existing business in town that's considering that, kind of some free business counseling. And so great opportunity. You can information is available on our website about the number to call to make an appointment. But this is just kind of this part of our economic development program that's really focused on kind of that super small, the smaller business entrepreneurial type folks that might be looking for just some help kind of figuring out if they're going to plan to grow, or they're thinking about opening a storefront, what are the considerations that they need to think about in doing that.
And there have been some success stories on this in Maple Grove, and also throughout the other cities that are part of the open to business. So great program. Again, stop by the government center or look online to find out about ways to set up an appointment. Another sign of spring are trees. We've got a couple things with trees here. Tell us about the tree sale and how that works.
Yeah, tree sale coming up here. Orders are accepted through April 13th. We offer 6 different types of trees, and 6 shade trees, 3 ornamental trees, and 1 evergreen option. Prices range from $30 to $70, so kind of a range of tree type and size, that kind of a thing. And then the trees are available for pickup on May 19th. The page 4 in your spring newsletter was the order page for that, so it gives you all the information about how you can order these trees, kind of at a pretty reduced cost as compared to going, buying them commercially, and kind of helps with our whole goal of making sure our urban forest is staying alive and well, and certainly in response to the emerald ash borer piece that we're experiencing here in town as well.
So you mentioned that is in the newsletter. Is it also online, the order form, so people can do that if you can't find the newsletter? Hidden on your table, go online and get that done. If you are thinking picnics in spring or summer, maybe summer a little bit more the right time for that, you've got some options in Maple Grove. Yeah,
we recently just added the opportunity to reserve a pavilion or outdoor family gathering space on our website. So that's available through our Parks and Recreation area. And we have a number of them available. The Maple Grove Arboretum, Weaver Lake Park, the Community Center, Eagle Lake Building is a great indoor spot that accommodates about 45 people. So lots of options there, and now you can do it online. Yeah, some great places throughout the city of Maple Grove, and you can look at all those beautiful trees in many of these places as well. Let's talk the market. The market remains indoors, but they're chomping to get outside, but not quite yet. How much time do we have inside still? So our next market, Thursday, March 29th, that's 3 to 6 p.m. again inside the community center. Indoor markets continue through April and May, April 12, April 26, May 10. Our hours extend a little bit in the April-May months from 3 to 7, and then as we move into end of May, June, we'll start moving towards the outdoors, but inside for a few more weeks here. All right, but products changing on a regular basis, so stop by as much as you can and see what the new products would be. Couple dates for you in April and May to put on your calendar, so get those out. Here's the first one, Longevity Health Expo. This sounds rather interesting. What will this be? So Saturday, April 7th from 10 to 5, a variety of vendors will be offering their products and services related to nutrition, fitness, weight loss, and more. Over 80 exhibitors are planned, and then a main stage filled with presentations, demos, entertainment. So again, 10 to 5 on Saturday, April 7th, and that's a free event to the community. All right, and sounds like it's for all ages, so make sure you stop by and check that out. If you're an ice skating lover, maybe after the Olympics, the fun of ice skating continues.
continues on Maple Grove style.
Yep.
What's the show coming on?
Yeah, so this is the 18th annual skating show put on by the Maple Grove Skating School, and they just do a great job. This year's theme is World Showcase, so maybe
Very nice.
related to the Olympics a little bit. Takes place on Saturday, April 14th. There's 2 shows that day, one at 1 p.m. and one at 6 p.m. And tickets can be purchased in advance or at the door, and so information on our website available about that.
All right, go out and see the skaters. Here's an event that we were talking before the show about it, and it's hard to believe it's been this long that it's been going on. The Community Forum on Race. Give us a little background and then tell us about this year's event.
Yeah, so this year's event will be, is the 5th annual Community Forum on Race, and it'll be held on Saturday, May 19th from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And this year it's going to be at the Maple Grove Community Center. I work with the group that's planning this event. Maple Grove joined in this community event last year, so this is kind of our second year participating. Really focused on bringing in kind of a good keynote speaker and then some breakout discussions. And I think what we're, the goal of the event is really to kind of create a really safe space for people to talk about issues related to race and provide some context to those discussions, and then talk about how people might get engaged in the community and supporting, an organization or advancing issues that they want to see more work done on. So it's a great community event, free to the public. Right. Again, 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Maple Grove Community Center on Saturday, May 19th. A light lunch is served. We do ask you to register so that we know kind of, how many people are coming. There's going to be information going out on our website here shortly so that you can go on and register for that event. So really great event. I was able to attend the one last year. It was held in Brooklyn Park at the Activity Center there. It was a really great afternoon and a good exchange of ideas and thoughts.
Hope you can get out and join in on that event. All right, last note here, get out your information if you're interested in a job. Maybe this is for the youngsters in the city, but also for parents who might be thinking something for them or for their youngsters. Let's list some of the jobs here. The first one is a part-time job with the youth. Tell us how this works.
Yeah, so this is associated with our teen center at the community center. So this is a youth outreach assistant, part-time again. This position's open through, well, just this Friday till 4:30 p.m. So part-time position. I think the hours are a little bit range on that one because our teen center tends to, during the school year particularly, focus in the afternoons into the evening, and then I think the summer hours change up a little bit. So if you're interested in that one, information available on our website. In addition, we're hiring a police officer. We continue in our, it seems like every time we get up to speed, somebody retires or somebody leaves to go into an opportunity, and we're like, oh, so, we just get there and then we're starting over again. So current application process is open through March 26th at 4:30 p.m.
All right, and then for the summer work, again, for these youngsters, this might be the opportunity here, a number of positions. Give us the variety. There's a little bit of everything under the sun here. Yeah,
so these are really working full-time positions during the summer months, kind of temporary in nature, but 40 hours a week type positions. So in our Public Works and Parks Department, there's jobs relating to mowing, planting, weeding, blacktopping, trail maintenance, storm sewer repair, maintenance, custodial services, all kinds of things. Just helping us take care of the city during the summer months where we try to get out and kind of touch everything that we can and take care of it. And then, of course, our Parks and Recreation Department during the summer months with all the recreation programs and activities going on. And these tend to be a little bit more part-time positions at the community center, Central Park, Town Green. We certainly need lifeguards. That's been a big challenge for us. If folks are interested, that's something that we really need to focus on this year. T-ball, kicking kids instructors, field attendants, concessions, outdoor maintenance, and then kind of working with the concert events that happen at Town Green. So lots of opportunities out there. If you have a young adult at your house that, or even a teenager for some of these younger positions. Lots of great opportunities for employment with the City of Maple Grove.
And it seems a little early, but this is the time that it happens every year. So again, these are a lot of summer positions, but now is the time to get the applications in because there's a process through, I would guess, the month of April of looking to interview people and potentially hire people.
That's correct.
All right, get out there and get your resume in. Heidi, thank you very much for the time once again. We appreciate the update. Let's leave you you with some information here of the next council meeting. That is Monday, April 2nd, 7:30 at the Government Center. See the phone number at the bottom of the screen up at the top of the website. We mentioned a lot of items that are on the website, so go there to find out more about the passports and some of the great events coming up in the city. Phone number is 763-533-1710. Questions or comments about the program, we would love to hear them. For Heidi Nelson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks once again for joining us.